So we're talking about our broiler chickens today, and here we're over at the barn. We converted the granary in the barn to be a brooder, and we have space in the brooder here for about 150 to 200 chicks. Right now we've got 100 chicks in here to go out. They'll probably go out here mid-August sometime. They'll spend their first 2 to 3 weeks here in the brooder till they get big enough, they feather out, and then they can take a little bit of cold, a little bit of the weather fluctuation and what rain and whatnot that you get out there in the chicken tractors. And we'll go out there and take a look here at the chicken tractors here in just a minute. So now we're out here at the chicken tractors, and basically we've kind of taken a design here of them being 12 foot long by 8 foot wide, with 16 foot cattle panels that over the top. The 3 of those cattle panels make up the 12 foot length. We wrap them with chicken wire and with hardware cloth at the bottom. It's 1/4 inch hardware cloth. We do that on the bottom so that we don't get coons reaching in and taking the heads off chickens, which has happened. We kind of took the design of this chicken tractor from Darby Simpson, and we kind of made it our own. There's not a whole lot to change. It's fairly simple to make, but basically we can walk in there. I like that. They're a little hard to move. Eventually I'm going to make a dolly like Joel Salatin uses to hook under the back. I just haven't got around to that yet. We'll kind of show you how we move them, and you'll see it is a little bit of a struggle, but it's not hard to do. In here too, we've been these broilers. They're almost 8 weeks old, maybe just a little over 8 weeks old now. They're ready to go to the freezer camp tomorrow. We'll be doing some butchering tomorrow. We've been feeding them a blend of feed we've gotten from Country Organics. It's a corn-free, soy-free blend. We feel like these chicks have grown really well on this feed, so we're going to stick with it for now. Basically, we kind of we did some broilers last week. We butchered them up, and we found that they dressed out at upper 4 pounds to lower 6 pounds. So kind of averaging in the 5 range, and that's where we like them. And we didn't have the real small runny ones that we've had in the past with different feed mixes we've tried. So we're really happy with that right now. And we also feel like using the feeders that we've got set up now, they've got enough feeder length. I think that's important in the brooder also, that you have enough space for them to get to the feed, and you have enough spacing for them to get to the water. So whatever you got to do to get enough space that they can all get up to it at once, that's kind of what you want to do. We are moving these chicken tractors twice a day right now at the end, because they make more of a mess when they get bigger. We want to make sure we don't mat the grass down so that it comes back nice. We have a good stand of grass coming back. We'll kind of show you the back side of the tractor, where we've been here in just a minute. But this with where they're at now is where they've been overnight, and you can kind of see from the footage that we'll have there that it's not real matted down. There's some manure there, but it's not overwhelming. So we're going to go ahead and move these. One thing to watch when you're moving these chicken tractors is that the chickens stay off the back of it, because if they get their legs underneath there, it can be bad. Generally, as they get older, they start to catch on that they need to move as the chicken tractor moves, but you got to go slow. You got to watch them, because there's always a dumb one. And so we're going to go ahead and we'll kind of move this. This grass out here is a little clumpy, so it is a little harder. If you had smoother ground, it would probably be easier. And like I said too, the dolly system, once we get that set up, I think will help a lot. But otherwise, we just got a rope tied to the front of it, and we're just going to start moving it, and the chickens will kind of start coming with us. It does help too if you maybe have a second person to help scare them forward. But often, as you can kind of see, they kind of start coming forward. They like to find that fresh ground. And there you have it. Now too, I notice here I've got kind of a low spot here. When they're bigger like this, it's not a big deal, they won't get out. But when they're littler, when you first put them in there, that's a problem and you have to block that. Because we've ended up with chickens free ranging rather than being in chicken tractors. So back here on the back side, this is where we just moved the chicken tractor from. So this is today's, from last night. We moved them, we're moving them twice a day right now with them being bigger. And you can kind of see as we go back, so this would be day 1, day 2, day 3, and then you can get, it just goes on back until you can kind of see farther out there, you've got green grass coming back. You don't have the feed and the manure. And this pasture needs a little improvement anyway. It's been lacking in fertility for a little while. So this will help a lot. You know, we'll actually see this come back next spring and be kind of a green strip going through here. And as we get to the end, we're going to do our second round of broilers, and we'll turn these around and come back so it'll be a wider strip hopefully. And this is our turkey tractor. Kind of pretty much the same exact thing as a chicken tractor, but it's a little rougher because the little ones of our family decided it might be a jungle gym when we were building it. And so it kind of, it's a little wobblier, but it does hold together. It's held together for, this is I think the 3rd season, so they can take a beating. And another thing I should say about the tarps, we got kind of some different tarps. We got a blue tarp here, and if you'll notice that previously we had a silver tarp. There's really no advantage to one to the other, except for the ones on my chicken tractors. I think those are actually a little too big for, they should have, I think when I was at the box store, I grabbed the wrong tarp. Instead of being a 16 by 12, I grabbed a 16 by 20. So there's quite a bit of extra on the end. But we got that kind of pinned up. It'll work fine for this year. But yeah, the tarps are kind of important. That way you keep the rain off them, you keep the sun off them, give them a little shade. You want them to get some sun, it's good. And here in our turkey tractor, you notice we got turkeys and guineas in there right now. And we'll go ahead and move that one forward here too. This is kind of our setup. We feel like it works pretty good for us. If you're wanting to do it yourself, feel free to contact us, and we'd be glad to give you some pointers if we can. We feel like this is a good way to move chickens, to keep them on fresh grass each day, but yet keep them protected from predators, from coons and coyotes and hawks. That's another benefit to the chicken tractor. You don't have hawks can't swoop in and get them. And we just feel that it produces a much better quality meat and a much better experience for everyone involved. Thanks for watching. Stay free.